mentioned in my Super Bowl preview, number one, the magic created by Arians with Brady and with Todd Bowles and the whole team, the talent they have, everything. And when I mentioned about the amazing way that Arians was able to Bruce Arians has a great talent to let players play and coaches coach. And it sounds so simple. It is. It sounds easy. It is not. And a lot of head coaches, and I could just start naming them, a list. I'm not going to do it. Don't let their coaches, they know what they know, and they know a lot. And sometimes it seems like they struggle with knowing what they don't know. I love that Arians, I heard Arians on doing broadcast in 2019 or 2018, the year he was off, that he wasn't coaching. And I thought, this guy really thinks he knows everything because he talks like he knows everything. But I think he was trying to get used to being a broadcaster. It wasn't something he was used to. And he does know a lot. I mean, he's coached for a long time, and his whole style was the pro-pass spread of Sid Gillman, basically. Not that he studied from Gillman or anything. Sid Gillman created that in the 50s. He was already working on it in the 30s and the 40s, but that's another thing. From the great Francis Schmidt. I'm a big fan of Francis Schmidt from the 1930s. Great offensive mind. Really the first brilliant. I mean, there's been so many. We can go back to Pop Warner and other people. But anyway, but he imparted a lot of that to Sid. Sid imparted that a lot to Paul Brown. It changed all of football. And then Sid, also imparted that to Vince Lombardi. The Packers sweep was all about blocking in space, zone blocking. And that was Sid Gillman. People don't know that. It's not just about the pass. Sid Gillman was all about space, zone blocking, spreading out, passing, using all the field. When they first started playing football, they would actually stay in one little area of the field. And when they went out of bounds, they didn't have hash marks. So you'd see the team all like over here or over here on the sideline. It was insane. So anyway, Sid Gillman fleshed all this out. And then the biggest thing he did was timing, all about timing things and routes. I thought that got a little too inflexible, but I'll be honest, I'm still learning about him. I have to go to the Sid Gillman library at the bequest of Bill Mountjoy, another coach that I'm friends with, but that has said I need to go there and study more about Sid Gillman. But anyway, he was the roots of the West Coast. Bill Walsh got that stuff from there and turned it into something else. Bill Walsh is a different style of West Coast, and I write about it in the Post, and you'll see it in the Post. But basically here, Tom Brady came from there's something called the EP, the Earhart-Perkins system, which was heavy power running with that kind of a Gillman pass spread thing, but then Brady was also had some spread roots from college because Bill Belichick went to Urban Meyer early on and learned some of that spread and the no huddle and things like that. And then you add in Josh McDaniels, who was also on that trip with Belichick to learn about that. And Josh McDaniels' background's a little more of the Bill Walsh West Coast, which I was just trying to say. It's more of a short horizontal. Gillman fleshes out everything. Bill Walsh is more about using the pass as a run, so it's like little passes and matriculating down the field. Gillman will matriculate or he'll go big, deep, and big. It doesn't matter where. It's all about the timing and the spacing, and it's either long or short or middle. It doesn't matter. And so Josh McDaniels had more of that in his background, and added that, and he also had some power spread because of the Urban Meyer influence, and he was trying to flesh that out as a head coach at Tampa Bay. Didn't really work out. It was a little before its time yet. But when he came back to New England, he really worked what I call a pro West Coast or a West Coast WCPS, West Coast power spread sort of thing. So Brady was much more of these little horizontal stuff. His nemesis was Peyton Manning, and guess who coached Peyton Manning? Bruce Arians with Tom Moore, and that was the Gillman stuff more. That was the bigger pro spread. That was all over the field. Brady's was more about the little dinkers, get the ball out of the hand, be a distributor. Get the ball out quick and let his athletes do the job. Peyton Manning was a scheme that was more on him, like more, I mean, not to say because Brady had to be great as a distributor, and that's also a big deal. I'm just saying Peyton had to have the arm and the strength and the ability to read and hold the ball a little longer, get it out of his hand to more areas in the field. Not that Tom never went deep, but this play right here, look at this. This right off the bat, we have a more aggressive Brady and a more aggressive scheme, yet it's still sort of in the Brady way he knows it, and that's the brilliance of Arians. He let Tom influence and mesh with his own scheme to create a new kind of scheme, which I call it more the pro spread. I would call it like almost a pro PS Gillman plus. It almost has a little bit of a Sean McVay thing to it. A little bit, the shorter passes with the longer passes, fleshing out all of the field and setting up for big power runs. So the whole package of the old Earhart Perkins, the old West Coast of Bill Walsh, the old West Coast of Gillman all together. And it's cool. And Brady's taken to it. I mean, it's still a little different. It's a little different than what Brady was used to before, but still has a lot of Brady's same stuff he was used to. He still gets the ball out of his hand quicker, tries to, but sometimes it's not quite as quick. So check this out. This is a way of meshing it, see? He's holding the ball a little longer, not like he never threw it deep for New England. I'm just saying the general idea, the concept, overall, the mindset. Ball's a little longer. Look, we got like practically, well, it looks like it's almost going to be 4 verticals, and then this guy stops down here. I almost wonder if that was an option route, which is part of the old run and shoot game, which Tom's first coach, Charlie Weiss, had a run and shoot background. That might have been. Probably wasn't an option. It was probably a plan. But anyway, no, because definitely to set this up here. So whatever. But the bottom line is, that's awesome. 3rd and 4, and we're not looking for a little dinker here. But we're not holding the ball forever. We're not taking long, progressive stuff that could happen in the Gillman offense. So it's a mesh of Gillman, Walsh, the spread of the college spread. It's a mesh. But it's like a quick, bing, and he's got it to his guy Evans, who he really likes Evans, but it didn't work later in the game. But it worked right there. So, and then we have here, and that's a big 3rd down conversion. Now 3rd and 9 again. Again, see? Holding that ball a little longer for a down and out. See, now this is more like the old stuff Tom was doing, quick passers right there. But this is, with the running back, he could have hit he loves hitting the running back in the New England offense. But here he waits for the out. You need better offensive line protection, but they have that talent up there on the offensive line to do this. And Tom has the arm strength more than people realize, and Tom's proven it. Here again, look, 3rd and 7 again. Look at another longer pass. We're not just trying to do a dinker over the middle like you did in New England here. We're going deep. Not super deep, but deep enough. Touchdown. But again, he's not holding the ball forever. And let's see here. Do we have some max? Sometimes he'll have max protection now too, with the running back blocking. And no, the running back again. You know what? That was a 5-man rush, man on man underneath. Yep. And that's good blocking. Did they keep the tight end? They did keep the tight end a little bit to block, so a little bit. But overall, just really, again, a good offensive line that enables this to happen. But again, so this is, may not look that different to a lot of fans, but it's more aggressive. It's interesting. It requires more from, I don't want to say it requires more from Tom in a different way. It's not about just getting the ball out of his hands now. Sometimes we hold on to that ball a little longer, and this happened throughout the game. It was later in the game. We saw it again on the next drive. I think here it is, 3rd and 14. Oh, this is back to the New England stuff. Check this out. Now we do a nice little wide receiver screen. This is so West Coast. This could also be air raid kind of stuff. This is something Sean McVay would play with too. That's why I call it Gillman Plus. It's more than just, look at this that's perfect on a 3rd and 14. And after all the long passes, set this up. Green Bay wasn't expecting this at all. I mean, look at the way they're backing off here. I mean, this is supposed to be man on man, and these guys are just backing off way too much. Or actually, no, this is maybe zone. And that's part of the reason. All those passes on the man on man made the defensive coordinator get a little conservative for Green Bay and back off into a zone, and little dump off, and talent. Takes talent too in this kind of offense anyway. It always takes talent, but I mean, in more of a power spread or a total spread, it relies less on talent and execution, but that's okay. The pros have the talent. Godwin, good stuff there by him. And he's fired up, as you see. People are playing hard for Tom. And then this happens later. He goes deep a couple more times. I don't know if I can get it. And it didn't work out. But that's okay because those deep passes are setting up. There we go. He goes deep here. And here, this wasn't even a great idea. Actually, I have this with a guy named J.T. O'Sullivan, does a nice QB school YouTube. And I found his stuff. It's fantastic. And he breaks this down saying that if you look at this from the other side, which he has the highlight on that, there was this guy right here, and there were some other people Tom really should have gone to. But you know what? It's okay. He wanted to be aggressive. His mindset coming to this was, I'm going to be the aggressor. I'm going to be the quarterback. I'm going to be the man. and it's going to hinge on me. And this is why he goes deep right here. And it worked this time. Other times in the game it didn't work. That was a great catch by Godwin. The coverage was there. He threw into the coverage, sort of, but it was only one-on-one there. So it was a deep safety, and he didn't have double. So, see, there's a guy running underneath here that was wide open. So that's the guy J.T. O'Sullivan was talking about right here. See? This is really the guy you want to hit. But it's okay. It's a mindset more than anything. And there were incompletions, but it's set up for later. It's the idea. So this is how Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, and Byron Leftwich involved there, the offensive coordinator, all came together because Byron Leftwich has a Bill Walshmore style background too. So you get the short passes, long passes, you mixing it all together, and it works really well. And by the end of the year, the offensive line was a little beat up, the receivers were really beat up, and Tom's older now, so some of this stuff his feet have been a little off. I'll do another video on that. That's why the interceptions came later. He was letting balls sail on him. So all of that's played a part in the offense dragging a little bit at the end of the year and the defense of Bowles having to pick it up and win some games. But this offense hasn't played its best, and it's had 2 weeks off for the Super Bowl. So it could be a letdown. It could be rusty. But I'm thinking it might be their best offensive performance yet. But we'll see. In the playoffs, I mean.